And the fat acceptance movement doesn't get to pretend that they are not part of this stigma that is building. Why is this so hard for them to grasp? Like, why can they not just admit to themselves and to us that that is the problem? Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sam. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. I am so happy to have you here with me again this week. If you are new here and this is the first time you are seeing my face, welcome. I make weekly videos dissecting internet nonsense, so if you're into that type of thing or you like today's video, I hope that you'll consider liking and subscribing. It really helps out the channel and make sure that you never miss another upload from me. So if you've been here since the start of the year, you know the girls are fighting. And after 2 whole videos of talking through the ins and outs of this infighting within the fat community online, I really thought we were through it all. And just when I think we're out, they pull us back in.
Just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in.
And the video that pulled me back in was this rambling from Fierce Fat Femme, who now goes by Angelina.
Okay, so is it time for us to have a conversation yet about what's happening in the fat community? What do you think, Max? This is a yes. So we have, of course, seen a large uptick, pun intended, of fat creators now posting about their intentional weight loss and really like hyping up Ozempic, Mounjaro, Wegovy, and other mechanisms, and also just like, I guess, natural intentional weight loss. Here's the thing. The problem is not the weight loss, although of course there can be lots of frustrating feelings regarding weight loss. The problem is when you are on an intentional weight loss journey and then you also intentionally shit on the fat community at the same time. So here's the thing. Number 1, you can go on an intentional weight loss journey without then talking shit about the fat community, especially for those of you whose platforms were built by the plus size community, and those brand deals you got were also from partnerships with plus size companies and size expansions and other things of that sort. So you can do that without then calling the fat acceptance community and fat liberation a cult. It's also just not very original, this is number 2, to spew anti-fat bias in ways by like saying the fat acceptance community is a cult, or saying that like you gotta watch your health, like all the things that fat phobia has taught us. Like, get an original argument at least is all I'm like hoping you'll do in the meantime. And the third piece here is that I have seen a lot of these fat creators who are on an intentional weight loss journey then kind of like saying like, people are mad at me and people hate me because I'm losing weight. And it's like, let's not conflate the feelings here. So yes, there probably is a group of people who are upset at you and angry at you because you are now spewing the fat phobic diet rhetoric that they were trying to escape. But also, mostly people are upset with you that instead of just losing weight and doing that whole thing and not shitting on fat people, you chose to do both of those things.
So I clipped that down a bit just for our collective sanity, because despite telling those girlies who want to lose weight that they need to get new arguments and that they're not being original, she only said things that we've already heard over the last 2 months. Talk about being late to the party. But the one thing that really stuck out to me in Angelina's response here is if you really, really listen, you hear her saying that no one is mad at these creators for deciding to intentionally lose weight. She's saying that's a non-issue because bodily autonomy exists. But then she continues on, and her conclusion is that people are mad at these creators because they've chosen to intentionally lose weight. Did you hear it? Because I promise it was there. Amidst the jargony buzzword salad that was in the middle of all of it. That's exactly what happened. They're not mad about intentional weight loss, but they're mad at you because you're losing weight intentionally. It's almost like they fit together. And the reason I wanted to include Angelina's video here is that once she decided to chime in, it gave a couple other people the opportunity to also chime in, and they used her video as a jumping off point. and we are going to talk about one of those today.
On an intentional weight loss journey without then talking shit about the fat community.
I've been thinking a lot about whether I want to get involved in this conversation at all, because I think ultimately what someone chooses to do with their body is their choice. And honestly, I kind of feel the same way about what someone chooses to post online. They can decide what they want to post. I will say that in the last year, I started running again. And I looked back on, my Instagram content specifically, and I would say I was posting about 1 reel a month minimum, talking about exercising. And I would say in my stories, at least once a week, I referenced that I was going to a workout class or workout clothing I was wearing or the workout I was going to. And the number of people that had issues with me as a fat person exercising, specifically from my fat community, was 0. No one cared. And so I think one of the pieces I wanted to kind of flag in this whole conversation is this idea that the fat community is like, you have to stay fat. You have to, not exercise. You have to do X, Y, Z. It's like, I have not had that experience. I don't know what your experiences are, but I have not had that experience at all. And I have been very public about the exercise I'm doing. I am not pursuing weight loss. But if this is a conversation about the fat community doesn't want you to exercise, hasn't been my experience.
Now, this creator just wasted our collective time telling us that she started running again and posting about her exercise and that 0 fat people in her audience got mad at her. Great. Then she followed that statement up. We hear her saying, it's almost like the fat community isn't telling people that they have to stay fat. And then right after that, she said, but even though I'm running, I'm not intentionally losing weight. I'm still fat. Now stay with me. I know this is going to be a shocking revelation, but it's almost like no one was mad at her because she didn't lose weight. So the crux of the issue is the weight loss and only the weight loss. Why is this so hard for them to grasp? Like, why can they not just admit to themselves and to us that that is the problem? Is it because it would mean that some of the things that are being said about them are correct? Can't have that now, can we? Now, what I think that both of these creators missed in their messaging here is that the creators who've chosen to lose weight are doing this exact same thing. They're only really posting stories or reels or other social media content of them working out more, doing workout gear hauls, drinking more water, etc. The only difference, and apparently the fatal flaw, is that they have also decided that while they're making these changes, they're going to be transparent that they're also using a weight loss medication to aid them. In my humble opinion, I think it's better that creators are transparent, especially when weight loss is a known effect of that medication. I would much rather that they be transparent so people know what's going on, rather than follow the route of creators like Anna over at Glitter and Lasers, who just continues to post weight loss side-by-sides, and kudos to her for losing weight, but she's not telling people she's using a medication, and leading more than 8 million people to believe that her co-pilot workouts and her protein junk food snacks are the reason she's losing weight. It's misleading and it's potentially dangerous, because what happens when her impressionable young audience decides they're just going to start working out and eating protein junk food snacks? Do you think they're going to have the results that she has? Would it have been better for them if she had been transparent and open and honest about how she actually lost weight? These people and their reaction are the reason that creators like Anna are choosing not to be transparent. Also, even though they're trying to play this like, I'm not going to name names game, I know that one of the creators that they're talking about is Rosie Beam. Because we've already covered that drama on the channel, I will try to remember to link the video down below in case you haven't seen it yet. But she is a creator that they do not mind dogpiling on. And this anti-fat bias that she's spewing, even though she is still a size 20 plus size woman, came after she started getting attacked by this community simply for being honest and transparent with her audience about what was going on with her. In relation to this drama and this story with Rosie Beam, I caught Angelina once again saying the quiet part out loud in her own comment section when someone said, "There are a lot of fat people who take weight loss, health consciousness personally, though." Her response was, I have yet to see anyone get a bunch of hate comments from fat folks because they're working out. So it wasn't about Rosie or other creators posting workout content now. It was about the weight loss. It's almost as if they are actually saying that you have to stay fat to be part of their movement. And I don't know about you all, but it is truly fascinating to me to watch them say repeatedly that that is not the primary issue, and then they just continue to show us that it very much is the thing that they hate the most. Like, seriously, there should be studies about this. And it's even more interesting to think about this when you start to realize that medications like Ozempic, Mounjaro, Zepbound, etc., they have so many benefits, including weight loss. Yet it's assumed over and over again by these fat activists that weight loss is the only goal. There are so many videos of doctors breaking down the various studies of these medications and how they improve the quality of life for people dealing with chronic diseases such as kidney disease, heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, and more. As champions of the phrase, "you can't judge someone's health just by looking at them," why do they feel so comfortable and confident deciding that weight loss is the only reason that these influencers are taking the medication? It's almost like they're just looking at them and making a judgment call. I actually found another comment in Angelina's comment section where someone shared the reason that they started taking these medications. "I am fat. Started therapy to address my ADHD and binge eating, my super hyper focus of my ADHD, with no intention of weight loss. But I am losing weight as a result of my mental health improving. Some of my friends are so angry at me because they don't believe that my journey isn't weight loss motivated. I just want to control my brain, which was hurting." And of course, Angelina didn't have a response to that because this is exactly what she and her cohort are doing to other fat creators. They are publicly flogging anyone who dares to change, and it's even worse for you if you decide to be transparent about how you're making changes. But here's where my head is really at. I saw these two clips, I saved them, and I knew that I wanted to talk about them. And then I saw this article on the Fat Logic subreddit, and it was titled, "The Moral Panic Over Ozempic Misses the Point." And what I want to highlight from this article, what I'd been thinking about for a long time but couldn't quite put words to, is that in all the discourse that we're seeing, in all the content, in all the media surrounding these drugs, the thing that is happening at an alarming rate, in my opinion, is that the voices of people who live every day with serious chronic illness and who stand to gain the most from these medications are being drowned out. The article shares a story of a woman that they're calling Arlene. Arlene has diabetes and is approximately 80 pounds overweight. Her insulin injections cause her weight gain. She lives in a shelter where she cannot control her food, and she is in a wheelchair, which prevents her from exercising. Arlene shared with her physician that because of these drugs, she had lost 10 pounds in a short period of time, her blood sugar was in much better control, and her back pain had improved. And it's fascinating too, a conclusion that they draw in the article, despite all these drugs can do, and their radical therapeutic potential for correcting interconnected diseases such as high blood pressure, diabetes, kidney disease, and so on, they are still only being referred to as simply weight loss drugs. They also touch on how this discourse is really building up a stigma around these drugs that could be so beneficial to people. And the fat acceptance movement doesn't get to pretend that they are not part of this stigma that is building. They have been on the internet openly just telling people how dangerous they are, even without credentials to do so, and shaming people for supposedly taking them away from the people who actually need them. But my question is, who gets to decide who needs them and who doesn't? Because again, you can't tell someone's health status just by looking at them. And I feel like as time goes on, these videos, this article, they've left me with a lot of questions. But the main two are, why do fat activists feel so confident discouraging honesty and transparency? And why are they okay villainizing medications and medical therapies that could help the communities that they often claim that they're standing up for? It doesn't matter how many times they say that they stand for bodily autonomy, or when they say that they're standing up for folks who live with disabilities, when their actions, their behavior, and their content continues to prove otherwise. They are being so loud and so negative and creating a stigma for people who might actually need these drugs to improve their lives or to even help them just keep living. These people could now be afraid to take medication that could save their lives because if they do, they will be outcast. They will become a pariah in a community where they once found safety just because they dared to improve their own health outcomes and their own quality of life. All right, that is all that I have for you all today. But at this point, I'm curious to know what you think of all of this. What do you think about this infighting in the community? And was it as obvious to you as it is to me that weight loss is indeed the problem for these fat activists? It is honestly laughable that they keep saying, no, that's not the issue, when it very clearly is. So I'm curious how you all feel about that. What do you think about them continuously discouraging honesty and transparency? Do you think that that will have harmful impacts on the young audiences we know are watching these people on social media? What do you think about them contributing to this stigma for people who do actually live with very serious and chronic diseases, who might now fall into that sort of hand-wringing worry about whether or not they should take a medication that can improve their life outcomes? I feel like that to me was a thing, again, I'd been thinking about it, but I couldn't quite put words to what I was thinking. But there are people out there who need these things. Why would we discourage them? Why would we make them fearful of that? And by we, I mean the fat acceptance community, but you all know what I mean. You will have to let me know what you think because I'm honestly just so curious to know, and you know I'll be reading your comments shortly after this video goes up. And for all my introvert friends out there who don't like leaving their opinion in an internet comment section, I see you, I feel you. We're going to do a your choice emoji today. Go ahead and leave me an emoji that tells me how you're feeling after sitting through and thinking about this. Are you feeling frustrated, mad, confused, all of the above? You'll have to let me know. And you know I love seeing your emojis just as much as I love reading those opinions. So please leave them for me down below. As always, thank you all so much for being here with me again this week. I will see you in the next one. Bye.